Hey there, Internet. So I got a request, and it's been a little while, and I've been meaning to do some more videos, so I thought I would do it for you. I got a request from a man named Star Jumper, or I guess it could be a girl, I'm not sure. But anyway, someone named Star Jumper. So, what's up, Star Jumper? And asked for a little bit of, a little bit more info on working with Greenstuff, and I don't really have any projects that require Greenstuff at the moment, but I know that was probably my most watched videos, so I thought I'd do a little something for you. So the idea here was, some tips and tricks, how I go about sculpting, maybe do a little tutorial on, I think a purity seal is what he mentioned. So what I've gone and done is gone and gotten a bunch of quote-unquote tools, and we're going to mix up a little bit of green stuff here. So I use some stuff from, I think it's Gale Force 9, I'm not sure, but anyway, it just comes in a big tube. I take it out of the tube because it gets all sticky, and it's just a big lump, but any two-part little modeling epoxy stuff, it's the same idea. So I just get the two pieces here, and yeah, I usually get them kind of warmed up in my hand a little bit so they kind of work well, and you just squish them back and forth. One thing I've learned with Greenstuff is it doesn't matter how much you think you're going to use, you're always going to mix too much. So, it sucks to mix them up and then not have enough, but keep in mind that you're almost always going to have too much. So you can always go a little bit less than you think you'll need and still almost always have extra left over. So mixing it up, I'm just kind of squishing it flat in one hand and then squishing it flat the other way. Sometimes I'll do a little twist and just twist it up, curl that up, roll it up. But I do like to mix it really thoroughly for a couple reasons. One, if you see that how there's kind of a little blue and yellow going on there still, it won't kind of cure properly. So you may get some weird textures, or it may not finish. Chances are it'll still harden just fine, but I like to make it nice and solid. The other is when you're mixing it up, this stuff is basically an epoxy, so it cures faster with heat. And when you're doing it like this, you can get a little bit of friction going and get it warmed up, because a lot of times with green stuff, when you first start working with it, it's probably a little too soft. I think for what I'm going to try here today, it'll be okay. But if you really try to work with it right away, sometimes it's really kind of hard to get it to stay in the form that you want, because it's still just too soft. So a lot of times you may want to mix it up and wait 15, 20, 30 minutes before you start working with it. On the other end, and I've never done this, but allegedly you can freeze this stuff and it'll be just fine. It won't really harden much, but by the time it kind of thaws and warms up, I don't know what it's like working with. So anyway, so we've got this pretty well mixed up. We wanted to do a purity seal, and I've got this little guy here to give you an idea. Like, if you see the purity seal on his arm, right, look how much I mixed up. It was super tiny. Look how much that is compared to what's there, right? It's a ton. So for a purity seal, I'm probably honestly only going to need this much for everything, right? Super tiny amount. So I'm going to roll that up into a little ball. And I'm going to use that purity seal to look at for reference, and I'm going to kind of take this into two parts now. One for the little wax thing, and then one for the paper. So what I've got here is it's actually a leftover, what's left after peeling a sticker from an Apple sticker from my iPhone. Because this stuff, any like sticker paper, plastic paper, is going to be pretty right on for being able to peel off later. This is one of the things you're going to want to work on a flat surface. So what I've got here is, hang on, let me get some water. Getting water? Wait, you guys know I don't edit. All right, I didn't have any water. All right, so now I got a little cup full of water. So the first tool I'm going to use here, and I've just gotten it wet, is, I've talked about this before, but it's a clay shaper, so it's just a little rubber tool. You can find these on Amazon, so if you just do a search for clay shaper, I think they're based a lot on size, so 0, and I think the ones that are black are the firmest, which are still really soft, which are perfect for what I need. So I'm going to get a little water, and we're just going to try to flatten this guy out a little bit. It's going to be hard to really show this too much because it's the bottom of it got wet. Let's try and dry the bottom off on this paper towel. And try that again. See if I can get it to stick. Problem with this plastic paper is it is just that. It's plastic paper, so the stuff comes right off it. But now I've kind of squished that into a little bit of a disc. One of the things with sculpting is you're really going to need to find your own tool. So this is just a paintbrush that I ripped all the bristles out of literally like 10 minutes ago. It was an old brush I didn't have, and I was thinking of like, what's round? I thought I would grab a pen to make a purity seal, and this is about the smallest I could find, but it's still significantly larger than a purity seal. So a lot of the tools you're going to use, get creative with. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to push this into the middle, and I think, see, this is kind of what's tough with working with it when it's real soft, right? I think that will do the trick. Yeah, not too bad. It's just a little too soft. Let's try that one more time. All right, I think you guys can still see that there. And then I've got a couple other little dental tools here. One that's got a little bit of a hook on it, one that's got a pick, but because this is a little skull there, let's look at where those dots are, just south of the middle. So we're going to try and put 2 little dots into this. Make sure the tool's wet so it doesn't stick too much. And that is really hard to see and really hard to work with, but I think it's supposed to be a skull, but honestly, it's something that little, just a couple dots like that, you won't even know the difference. So we're going to let that one ride just like that, I think. That's really all there is to it. And then I'm going to take this. I'm going to kind of roll it out. And I'm going to put that underneath that like so. Everything's sticky. Yeah, when it's fresh, it's really sticky too. Let me get my little clay shaper again, guys. I'm going to try to get that to stick more of the paper than the tool here. And that is, it's tough working on this kind of a surface. Whew. Honestly, it's probably best just to have left this on this plastic paper for about 10-15 minutes. It probably would have stuck to the paper pretty good. But I'll just hold the tip of it down with my finger. And we're just flattening this out. I'm kind of trying to push it into the, push some extra material up under the purity seal there. And let's look at the purity seal for a second, right? We see there's 2 pieces of paper and there's some little lumps, so I'm just going to push in like so to kind of create those little lumps. So let's turn that a little bit. And then I'll try to push the bottom of this up and in. I'll try and lift that up a little bit. Keep pushing the sides in. All right, and then I should be able to just push this right down. There we go, that sticks it to the paper there. Oh, you know what part of the problem is too, is the surface that I'm on, this stuff's got a texture to it, so it's not flat. So I'm trying to like push flat into this to kind of cut it off. Yeah, and I think what we'll do is we'll just kind of push along this side. try and make it look like it's 2. Alright, now that I've done that, this other side, I'm going to flatten out a little bit. Ah! Ooh! It spins. There we go. Now it's sticking to the paper a little bit. There we go. That's what we want. And then I can push up in a different area so it's not too uniform. Alright. Alright, and then I'll just kind of get it to bend like that. And then that's not the most amazing thing I've ever done, but I think that's a good idea. You can take a little bit more time and kind of tweak it. I don't want to make this video go on too long because it's already 11 minutes in, but I mean, that's a little purity seal right there. Let me bring that up for you so you can see that. Right, if I was really trying to make this nice, that line, I would kind of separate so that it's not the same little bump in 2 spots. But yeah, it's a quick little purity seal, right? Let's do a little bonus here. Let's do, I've heard about this, never done it. Let me get some of the tool here. Doing a chain using, my tweezers have some paint dried on the end of them from using sponges to do like weathered effects. Maybe I'll do a video of that too. That might be cool. But yeah, anything you guys want to see, let me know. So we're gonna do a chain, quick and dirty, just by rolling this out. So since I've got some leftover green stuff, I might as well, this is one of the things you want to do with it, is find little things that you can do with it. So you can make little whips, little chains, little hooks, little whatever you might need. So all right, so there we go. We're just rolling that out and do a little snake there. And what we're gonna do with the tweezers, I don't know if this will work. These tweezers are kind of dirty. We're just going to try to go through and squeeze. Let's do it the other way. Let's what we're going to do is basically squeeze and squish and squeeze and squish. So I'm going to try to squish and maybe that will stick it in. So we're just going to squish a little bit. And then we're going to go again and we're going to squish a little bit. And we're going to go in and we're going to squish a little bit. And then we're going to squish a little bit. Yeah, I really got to hold this stuff to keep it down. That's okay. That's okay. I'm just going to squish a little bit. And squish a little bit. Yeah, this plastic stuff is actually working too good for me. What do you guys use, if anybody's out there that does this sort of thing? Most of the time I'm sculpting on a model. I can get it to stick to it, but this stuff just does not want to stick down. So now we can try to squeeze in between those spots that I squished flat. Go back and squish down the middle one more time. Squish down the middle one more time. Alright, so this is going to be perfect for putting a little hole in the middle. Of all those little flat spots, see that? Just going to push straight down in the middle. Right down in the middle. Right down in the middle. Now, since this is going to be flat in the back, this is obviously going to be a chain that would be attached to something. I'm not sure the best way to go about doing a chain that would be actually hanging. Maybe you could try and do the same sort of technique, just really thin and put two back to back, although I don't think that would work really well. Oops, sorry, just hit the camera. All right. Oh, I got some plaster sticking to it. And there you go, you got a chain. You get that painted up, that'll look just like a chain. We could try and push it a little bit tighter by trying to push. Again, those tweezers weren't in the best shape to do this. I'm trying to push these ends up. So what I'll do is I'll push them up. Oops, I think I might have just squished my purity seal a little. Nope. And then we'll turn it around. Just kind of push it the other way. Try and get some definition in those links. Alright, maybe we'll give it a little bend, let it dry like that. You know, I could stick it on one of these models and let it do its thing, but that's going to be pretty soft enough to do what I need it to. So you probably want to give that a good hour, and she should be good to go. So yeah, quick little one here. Not as quick as I thought it would be, still almost 18 minutes, but yeah, that's what we got for you there, folks. So yeah, Star Jumper, thanks for making a request, and anybody else wants to see anything hobby-wise, let me know. I got plans to show you a little hobby space I'm working on, maybe in the next video. It's kind of a quick one, but yeah, till next time, thanks for tuning in. Bye, guys.